Hello, this is Gloria J. York, Master Tarot Reader for over 25 years and spiritual channeler since birth. Also, best-selling author of the #1 bestseller, Medical Manslaughter. Will your doctor cause your death? This book is the true story of my husband's death, which was due to doctor error. Dr. Error is the third largest killer in the United States after heart disease and cancer. Doctor mistakes cause many deaths. I wrote this book to save your life. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or my website, gloriajyork.us. I urge you to read it because it will save your life. Here we are in the middle of August, the 19th of August, 2020. And this reading is for the United States of America. And obviously this reading and time is fluid, so it will go from August into probably the end of September, and some predictions here, some messages here will even go all the way to December. There's one thing to remember about this channel, the main thing to remember, that everything that is said here comes from Spirit. These messages come from Spirit. Who is Spirit? Spirit is Jesus Christ. That's right. I have a close relationship. He speaks to me. I am his messenger. I meditate on the tarot cards. I meditate about what the subject is, and of course the subject is the United States of America. And Jesus helps me lay out the cards. And then when the cards are laid out, I get to learn the meaning and what message he wants you to hear. I'm just the messenger. Also, when I do these cards, especially since it's for the United States of America, many of our past leaders do come also. Their spirit does come here. I'm clairaudient, clairvoyant. So sometimes I see them, and sometimes, most of the time, I hear them. Yes. President Roosevelt, President Truman, President Kennedy, Martin Luther King, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Andrew Jackson, President Ronald Reagan. Many of them come here. Sometimes they come as a group, and sometimes they come individually. And all I can tell you is they're not happy with what they're seeing. They're not happy with the way that our country is going. These are very serious times. I know you keep hearing that this is a very crucial, critical election. And even those words don't describe how critical it is that you pick the right candidate. Now, Jesus does not say to me, Democrat, Republican. Jesus could care less. But he does say words like the man that is in power, or the people that are behind the shadows, the ones with lots of money. He lets us know exactly who he's talking about. It doesn't take a genius to figure it out, but I will figure it out for you, and I will let you know what he says. He doesn't play games. He doesn't dance around. Jesus wants you to hear the truth, because you need to hear the truth, especially now in order to save this country. There is so much evil going on that you can't even imagine it. That's how sick it is. But some will be unfolded here so that you do learn the truth. Our initial card, which shows, of course, where we're at initially here in the United States, is the Three of Swords. Now, you don't have to be a tarot reader to see that this card does not look like a fun card. This card does not look pretty. As a matter of fact, it's heartbreak. It's deception. And that's exactly what's going on now as we start to get through these conventions between the Democrats and the Republicans. And last night started the Democrat convention. And there were a lot of mistruths. There was a lot of exaggerations. There were a lot of deceptive lies being told. They're going to make the picture seem very, very, very rosy. Life is going to be great. All of a sudden, COVID is going to be cured. All of a sudden, America is going to soar. When 8 years prior with Biden and Obama, they put the America in the toilet. America was not respected. It was being disrespected as Biden and Obama bent down and kissed the ring of Iran, and in the night sent them $1.8 billion in cash, along with other monies. But $1.8 billion in cash, in the night, in the dark. So you would not know. But someone leaked it. Someone who loves America leaked it. And that money, what was it used for? It was given for ammunition and guns for ISIS so that they can continue their terror. Does that sound like someone who loves America? I think not. The card that influences it is showing a card of foreigners. A foreigner or foreigners are trying to lead this Democratic Party and create this heartbreak. And I mean heartbreak. Living hell. Someone in a foreign country, foreign leaders, foreign accent, is against America and is trying to manipulate all that's going on. And you have seen what is going on. And it's reflected in the next card that shows what is more recently going on. Seven of Swords. Deception, stealing, vandalism, arson, murders, destruction of our cities, while the Democrat mayors and governors of these cities stand there and say, no, we don't want any help from the military. No, 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 we can't have the military. Why? Because these terrorists have been promised. And they're paid by the Democrats, the Democrat leaders. They're paid by them to come in and destroy and cause all kind of aggravation and destruction, all in the name of let's make Trump look real bad. Let's try to maneuver this election. Because we Democrats must get back in power. That's all they care about. They want to get back in power to own you. And so this reflection right here in the cards is saying they are provided, these paid punks are provided with bricks, guns, clubs, gasoline, rags, to break into all the stores, to pilferage all the merchandise, and to leave untouched. Because the Democrat mayors and governors tell their police, stand down, don't touch them, don't bother them, don't hurt them. And they take it a step further and want to defund the police Why do they want to get rid of the police? They want to get rid of the police so no one can stop all this terrorism and ugliness. And once they get back in power, the Democrats, once they get back in power, they won't have any law and order. They will be the law and order. They will come in and take your guns right from your home and push you aside. If they want, they will rape your spouse. And yes, part of their guidelines, part of their goals, part of the game plan is to take your children and your grandchildren away from you. That's right. They want to break up the family. They are going to take your children and your grandchildren and place them somewhere where you will never see them again. They want to break up the family and definitely stop all religions. Close the churches, board them up, burn them down. That's their idea. It is written in their guidelines. If you search deep enough, you will find this documentation. Does this sound like someone that you want running our country? Michelle Obama said last evening at the convention, that she's so proud to be an American. I told you they would sit in front of the camera with tears in their eyes, but for you to recognize them as the devils they are. And sure enough, she sat there and said, I'm so proud to be an American. I love America. Barack and I love America. And Joe Biden and Barack did so much for America. In 8 years, they put it in the toilet. That's what they did for America. No one respected us. Money was flying out of this country so they can work their little deals with Iran, Russia, Ukraine. Look what Biden did for his son, getting him a job, $85,000 a year. And when the head wanted to blow the whistle, he maneuvered and made sure that man got fired. Where is that man today? And so Michelle says that she's so proud to be an American. But in February of 2008, during the election, she said at that time, this is the first time in my adult life that I am proud of my country. That's what she said. Look it up. A so-called Harvard graduate. And we all know now what Harvard is really like. It's not as prestigious as they have led us to believe all these years. And then she went on to get a position in a law firm in Chicago, all through affirmative action. Affirmative action that favors blacks. Yeah, the poor blacks. They have gotten nowhere, have they, all these years? That's such BS. We have no racism here. We all treat each other fairly. We don't care if you're black or you're white. We look at each other as human beings. Are you doing your job? Are you pulling your weight? If you want to go to school, there's all kind of programs to help the underprivileged, whether you're black or white. And there's a lot if you're black. And so Her saying, "This is the first time in my adult life that I have been proud of my country." Yeah, she loves America. Oh, yeah. And then she goes on to say that Joe Biden is such a good man, a spiritual man. Jesus is just looking down with sad eyes. There's Joe Biden, a spiritual man, a Catholic, calls himself a Catholic. Does he go to church? I don't know. Catholic. And yet he's 100% for abortions. That's right. He's 100% for abortions. And he wants more abortion clinics to open up. They keep fighting for that. He's spiritual and he kills. He murders God's creation. He murders innocent babies, 7, 8, 9 months, healthy babies, because a mother says, "I don't want it," or they offer her thousands of dollars and she takes the money and says, "Take the baby, I don't care." And out the baby comes and they kill the baby. That's murder. That's not spiritual, Michelle. And so you ask yourself, why? Why do they want to kill these babies? What is it? What is it with our children? What is it with these people? We know that many of them are sick pedophiles looking for sex with children. We know that. We've discovered that. How many sick people are out there that prey on little children, watch for a child not to be watched in a supermarket or sitting out in a bassinet or a cart or in a car. Why? Why are they so obsessed with our children? And you look at Jeffrey Epstein, king of the Epstein pedophile island. Multi-billionaire. How did you become so rich, Jeffrey Epstein? Well, we know a lot of celebrities boarded his plane and went to his island. Not once, not twice, sometimes 10, 15 times. Bill Clinton's on the list. Other people are on the list, and it'll eventually come out unless someone kills someone and burns the information. And so many went down there to have their pleasures with little children that's been abducted. Beyond the babies, you got the 5-year-olds, the 4-year-olds, the 6-year-olds, the 8-year-olds, the 12-year-olds, the teens, scared to death, crying, frightened, as they laugh at these children. Sometimes it's one-on-one, and sometimes it's a group of them. And sometimes when they're finished, they then murder that child. But it goes beyond that. At this compound, this luxurious compound, there's a big, beautiful scientific laboratory. Why? Why would there be a laboratory there? You know, for years, science has been trying to find out the secret of youth. Ponce de Leon thought he found it years and years ago. But that didn't stop us. Scientists years ago they've taken blood from a baby mouse, put it into an older mouse, and they noticed the older mouse all of a sudden can get through the maze quickly. All of a sudden had energy. And so once word of that gets out and it goes on, they were going to try it on humans. You know that. And so they are. And so they do. And so they take these babies, they take these children, and they siphon out their blood, and they store it in vials, and they sell it. They sell it to the rich and famous who want longevity. They want to live to be 100 or so, and they want to look beautiful, male and female. They want to look handsome. They want to continue with their movie careers, their TV careers, their TV shows. Many times you'll see them in a tabloid when they try to disguise themselves and go shopping in the supermarket. But someone sees them and takes a picture of them. And they're wrinkly and looking really old. But then, a few weeks later, a month later, they attend a premiere. And they walk and they step out, looking like as if they're 20 years old. And we think, oh, they must have had a facelift. They didn't have a facelift, they had a blood transfusion. And whenever they kill these babies at these abortion clinics, they immediately take the blood from the umbilical cord, which is the most prime blood with the best cells in it. And they store it and they sell it to people like Epstein, who sells it to the millionaires, the billionaires, the trillionaires. They're walking around, you see them. You can only imagine. You look at them, you say, wow, you're 94, Queen. Wow, you look fabulous for 94. And you're 99, her husband? Well, I don't see you bent over shaking on a cane. You, CEO, president, who just died recently, 98. Wow, you look pretty daggone good for 98. Longevity. Fountain of youth. To get at the killing our children. Your children. Your grandchildren. Your babies. About a year ago, Kim Kardashian was on social media with blood all over her face. See, much of this is part of a satanic ritual. And as she sat there on social media, she said, this is a blood facial that I've gotten here in LA. It will take away the wrinkles and make me look young. And it's only $1,500. And I love it. I read about in Louisiana. Last week I read it. There's a place you could go to have a blood transfusion. Yes. Bring in someone. You're 60. Bring in someone who's in their 20s. They sit you down side by side. And they take blood from the young and put it into the older. It's happening. And that's why the Democrats want to increase these clinics. Look at some of them that are high up in office. One day they look ugly. Bags under their eyes, wrinkles all over their face. And the next time you see them, they look youthful. They look like they've slept for a week and had plastic surgery while they slept. It's no secret. A lot of this is going to come out should those Epstein files ever open up. But just know for right now, that's what's happening and why our children are being abducted, why they're missing, why they're being kidnapped and facing horrible deaths. For these people to have their satanic rituals of cutting up a child and taking the blood and smearing it all over their body while they chant. Biden is spiritual. Democrats are good. Think again. And remember, the Democrats of today are not the Democrats of Franklin D. Roosevelt, of Truman, of John F. Kennedy. They are not the Democrats of then. Those men loved America, stood up for America, wanted the best for America. They didn't sell their souls to the devil for a few dollars. They wouldn't do that. They said no, and they stood firm. But the Democrats of today that are run by these trillionaires, billionaires, and millionaires are evil. And that's why I refer to them as Demoncrats, because that's what they are. Now, as we continue to look at the cards, our destiny is supposed to be the Queen of Pentacles or the King of Pentacles. Whether it's a queen or a king, it could be either. In this case, it's the king, which would be Donald J. Trump, our president. The King of Pentacles is trying to bring us success, bring us back to being wealthy, all of us to being successful in what we do, to pay for our homes and vacations, and to have these fringes that we so desire, and send our children to college, and give our families what they need and what they want. Happiness, prosperity, that's what this card represents. That's what Donald J. Trump represents. That's our destiny, which means we are supposed to have this. It's written in our Constitution, which incidentally, the Democrats want to destroy. And if they get in, they will. They'll destroy that Constitution, destroy our American flag, destroy our anthem. You won't even recognize this country because it'll be pure hell for you and your children and your grandchildren. And yes, those children and grandchildren will say to you one day, why? Why did you vote for these people? You knew they were dirty. You knew they were bad. You knew they were corrupt. You knew they were going to ruin America. The facts were there, and yet you ignored them. And you voted a man in that has dementia, a man that has no mind. His mind is gone. It may be the beginning of Alzheimer's. It may be total Alzheimer's. It's definitely dementia, meaning gone. You put him in, and then you backed him up with some giggly woman, and they both have 0 for accomplishments? Michelle says that Biden's done so much. They've done so much. Name one thing that he's done in 47 years that you could really say, oh, this is because of Biden that this was done. This is because of Biden. He did this, he did that. He's known for this, he's known for that. No, he's known for 0. 0. And Kamala Harris has 0 too on her record. 0. So you got 2 zeros. And why are they there? Why are they running in that position? because the big gun up above, the billionaire, trillionaires say, I need somebody I can manipulate totally. They're going to be my little puppets. I will own them. I do own them already. And they will listen to what we say. And they will implement what we say. Stay with President Trump and Vice President Pence. They're the only thing that's guarding the door as the Democrats and communism are trying to pound it down. They're the only thing defending you. The only thing that is holding on, protecting your freedoms. Know it. Know it. Spirit is saying, hold on to your money. Quit buying things that you don't need. Buy what you need. Watch your money. Take your money out of your bank. Always have money hidden somewhere. Always have some money hidden somewhere. As we get into the position of what we fear, well, we've seen this card before, haven't we? We saw it last month. We saw it the month before. It's depression, suicide, anxiety. You're scared. You're frightened for your children. Should I send them back to school? Will they get COVID? Will any of us get COVID? Are we going to make it through the winter? Because we got all these different reports coming to us from the media, which is owned by the corrupt Democrats on top, the trillionaires. Yeah, we talked about them before, didn't we? The House of Windsor, the King and Queen, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Vatican, Bezos, Bill Gates and his wife, George Soros, without a doubt, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill and Hillary Clinton, Michelle and Barack Obama, Pelosi. The list is endless. They're telling you, oh, don't go out. Oh, close the schools. Don't send the children. Education has to go down the drain. Burn the books. Let there be no more history books. Let the history of the United States never be spoken again. Tear down the statues. And while all the terrorism is going on in Portland, Minnesota, Chicago, New York, and other areas, the Democrats stand there silent. All of a sudden, they have nothing to say. All of a sudden, not one of them will say, that is wrong. Them burning the cities is wrong. Them terrorizing the businesses is wrong. Them hurting the people is wrong. Them spitting in the face of our men and women in blue is wrong. Them clubbing innocent people, and especially if you wear a red hat that says MAGA, they will kill you as they have killed others and killed a beautiful, beautiful man last week, because that's what he had on his head was a MAGA hat. Went up to him and shot him dead. They grab people right out of their cars and beat them to their death. 2 just died the other day, a man and his girlfriend. That's what you hear. But then the corrupt TV stations, your CNN, your MSNBC, your ABC, CBS, NBC, all of them, they stand there with their microphones and say, these are peaceful protesters. And in the background, you can sometimes see that the building is ablaze. The people are fighting. But they don't want you to see that on camera. They want you to think everything is beautiful, and yet the police are the brutal ones. The police are the ones that are causing the problem, and they're not. They're just trying to protect the innocent people and, of course, our federal buildings. No wonder. No wonder you're frightened, scared. Spirit says, don't be. Send your children to school. Get them educated. Let them learn everything they can, not only about the past, but also the future. Because they are the future. And if you don't let them get educated, if you don't let them go to school, they will be mindless robots for the communistic leaders, the Sanders, the AOC, and all the ones up above that I mentioned that will take over and really will be the president. Here we have the Six of Pentacles. But the Six of Pentacles came up in reverse. Because so many are trying to destroy our economy. They don't want it to work out. And that's what they were laying on last night. The economy is horrible. There's a pandemic that was manufactured in a laboratory, made on purpose, in China, and distributed throughout the world on purpose to destroy the economy everywhere, and especially, always, number one is America. Just know it. And then the WHO organization, which is supposed to be the protection for all of us, to make it known when there is a problem, especially an epidemic, they buried the information. They held it. They didn't tell anyone because China said don't. And finally, when President Trump found out about it, in the middle of January, he immediately closed all access to anyone from China coming into our country, as any good president would. He didn't want us infected with this disease, but China had already made their way in. They had grace period. Told WHO to say nothing yet, because they were working on sending people in who had the virus, implementing the virus, injecting the virus all over the place. Fruit, vegetables, meat. Watch everything you eat, because they're not done yet. And the Democrats say he didn't work fast enough. President Trump tried to hide the virus from everybody. He didn't care. Well, what? It's beyond stupid. These statements are beyond lies. That man worked so hard, and Vice President Pence getting together a task force of the best that there is out there. The scientists, having them work round the clock, coming up with vaccines, anything to slow it down. That's why he talked about hydroxychloroquine. He was thinking along with the scientists. You know, we all have brains. Maybe somebody's going to say something, and somebody did. And so at least they were distributing that along with some zinc. And if it flares up again in the fall, and you're just in the beginning stages of having it, that's what they're going to give you. They're going to give you that. Hydroxychloroquine. Hope I'm pronouncing it right. But they lie. They lie to you. And they say, he didn't do anything to stop the pandemic. He didn't do anything? Biden and Obama left the cupboards bare. There was nothing. And a pandemic was being talked about a few years ago. And yet the cupboards were bare. So he had immediately, President Trump started immediately to talk about all of our manufacturers, our car manufacturers and other manufacturers. We need respirators real bad. Stop everything you're doing. Make respirators, ventilators. We need gowns. We need gloves. We need masks. We need everything to fight this virus. This is number one. Stop everything. And they did. And they did. Because they're good Americans. And they listen to this president because they respect him. Because he is intelligent. Because he has made excellent decisions. And he has made America great again. And he will do it again. We're already starting to climb out of this depressive state. Don't listen to the fake news. If you don't have cable, if you don't have Fox, Newsmax, and a couple others that are out there, and listen to some podcasts from people that will tell you the good and the bad. If you're just listening to CNN, MSNBC, ABC, Channel 9, Channel 7, Channel 5, Channel 2, your local stations, you're going to hear a one-sided story. And if that's what you're hearing every day, is a one-sided story about Biden is good, Trump is no good, then you know you're on the wrong station. Because you want to hear both sides. And if you say, I can't afford cable, stop going out to eat every night. Stop buying expensive Nike tennis shoes. Stop buying clothes you don't need anymore. Your cupboards are loaded. And get on cable to learn what is happening with your country, because this is your future. And the future of your children and your grandchildren. And if you love them, you will want to know all sides of the story. What is it that you don't like about President Trump? Is it that he built a wall that's almost completed, that has held out the rapist, the drug dealers that were killing your children's brain, frying it, the murderers, the ones with disease? Is that why you don't like him? Because he built a wall and is holding them out? Is he stopping the terrorist? Is it that you don't like him because he's built the military up to being strong again with the latest equipment to guard us and protect us from our enemies? Is that why you don't like him? Do you not like him because he's come up with his various trade deals and has negotiated where it would benefit the United States of America? Do you not like him because he's lowered your taxes? Because he's given you now a stimulus check to at least try to get on your feet, but he's saying to you, get out and get a job in addition to it. Because we need for you to get out and get a job. Because businesses need people. They're crying for people. Every door says now hiring. Get out there and get a job. Now, it may not be the job you like. It may not be the job you had before, nor the status that you had before. But you know what? It's going to put you out there around people. And in this job that you take, this new job, this additional job maybe that you are to the one you already have, you're going to meet a lot of new people. And somewhere in there, you're going to come across a contact who is going to eventually give you a position that takes you back up to where you were or even beyond. That's what it's going to do for you to get out. and get around people. No, don't sit on your sofa crying in your beer. Get out. Get to work. Get to work. Spirit says the light will then shine upon you. He who helps himself. Do it. Do it. Right now, we're at the crossroads. These could be our regrets if you don't vote wisely on November 3rd. And by wisely, obviously, I mean the Trump-Pence ticket, the Republican ticket. Vote red, all red. And then that will give you this, some hope. Because things will change. And another 4 years with them in, it will be so much better. And we will reach heights that no one has ever dreamed. Because Spirit tells me, keep grabbing onto the card with my elbow here. Spirit tells me that within these next 4 years, there are going to be new worlds that are going to be introduced to us. And I'll tell you more about that next month. Final outcome, the Eight of Rods. What is this? This is telling us you know what kind of life you want. You want happiness. You want your family. You want to hug and kiss your friends and your family. You want to be together for family gatherings, weddings, funerals. You want prosperity. You want to sell the home you're in and buy a bigger home. You want to have children. You want laughter. You want your children to go to school and know they're safe. Right now, they're going outside. And you have a beautiful breeze here. They're going outside and they're playing in the front yard and someone's driving by and murdering them. Since when can a child play outside? On his bicycle, on her roller skates. Since when? The Democrats are doing nothing to stop this terrorism in all of our cities and towns, and they won't stop with the big city. They're already moving into the suburbs. Know it. There's only one person that stands for law and order, and President Trump is the law and order president. Not just for today, but he stands with that, and so does Vice President Pence. They know you must have law and order. Anyone with half a brain knows you must have law and order. In any city, in any town. I'll pick an extra card because I always do. With President Trump, the message will be coming. A message that's going to bring you money and prosperity. Vote correctly or you will end up being the fool. Spirit is saying you will end up being the fool if you don't vote wisely. What else do you have against President Trump? Because he dresses impeccably? He's handsome? Looking good? Successful? Prosperous? Intelligent? Sometimes humorous? With all that's on his mind, with all that he knows, and he knows a lot of ugliness that's going down, he still finds time to say something to make you smile, to make you laugh, to lighten the day, even though the enemies are out with their swords trying to stab him every step of the way, criticizing him, lying about him. That's the big thing, lying. And tonight, you'll hear more lies from some other Democrat candidates. Positions of power. They're making everything look so bleak, when actually it is they who are making America very, very frightening. They are the ones that want you to vote in the mail. And I seen some ballots, Republican and Democrat, on these mail-in ballots. And when you fold the envelope and you put your ballot inside and you fold the envelope, on the outside, it has a D for Democrat or an R for Republican. It tells whoever's looking at that envelope who you voted for inside. And so, are you ready to trust some postal worker, some regular person out there that wants their candidate to win? Are you ready for them to look at your ballot and say, oh no, we can't have that one? President Trump isn't ready for that. He wants an honest election. How do you get it? Just like we did 4 years ago, just like we did 6 years ago, 8 years ago, 16 years ago. You vote in person. You vote in person. No matter how long you have to stand there, vote in person. And then you know that vote will be counted. Do it. I'll end this read with a prayer. On the 15th was the feast of the Assumption of the Blessed Mother. And so, Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and at the hour of our death. Amen. God bless you and keep you safe. And I will see you again soon.